Welcome everyone to Conversations from the Vault. I am so excited to have my friend Ali here.
Hello.
Ali is a Verstolo bride who recently got married this past September. So actually I should formally introduce Miss Ali Stagnitta Carbone.
Yes.
Welcome to the pod.
Thank you. It's so weird to even think of my last name as Carbone still. That was like the weirdest thing the day after the wedding. I was like, oh no.
Who am I? Identity crisis. But okay, when I found out your last name was going to be Carbone, I had so many questions. I feel like Carbone is the most coveted last name in New York City. So, okay, we're all wondering, are you like of Carbone now? Can you get us a reservation?
Am I of Carbone descent? I am lucky enough to, yes, be able to get you a reservation if you'd like one. But we are not of the family.
Okay.
I mean, maybe back in the day in Italy, we were.
I think it's worth doing like some
ancestry.com
just for the rest.
I'll go swab Mario really fast. So we did get engaged at Carbone. And
but you take a step back. You got to tell everyone about that.
Yes, I will. So, it was October 2022, a very long time ago, it feels like. And Rich told me that he had a work dinner that night, was taking his COO from London to Carbone, had it on the calendar for a month. And I was like, great, cool. And at that point though, we hadn't actually gone. We'd gone to Carbone once together, but he never used the name or anything. Cause again, funny enough, another little segue backstory, my friend dates Mario Carbone.
Oh.
So we have known Mario and we've been all together and they've been so confused about the last name and things like that. But we never had used that to get in anywhere. So we're going to Carbone that whole week. My friends kept asking me what I was doing over the weekend, and I was like, I'm going to Carbone. Oh, that's so fun. What are you wearing or something weird? And I would be like, I don't know, whatever. And they were like, you better dress great, if you're going with the president of the company and stuff like that. And I really didn't think anything of it. And he was just being quiet and weird all week anyway. And so I actually thought he was breaking up with me.
At Carbone?
Not at Carbone, but after that. I was like, oh, I think he's going to break up with me. I had a breakdown to a friend early in the week.
Such a vulnerable moment.
I know. And he was just avoiding me because he didn't want to tell me.
Right. So obviously you sensed that there was some awkward behavior and you just went dark instead of being I'm about to get engaged.
Oh yeah. And I also was why is everybody obsessed with me? I was just so, I don't know.
I'm not sure which is better, but I know. You were feeling the feels.
I was. And so then we pull up to Carbone, go in, check in. They're like, oh, your guests aren't here yet. You guys can wait outside. And so we go outside and I was taking a photo of the Carbone sign and tagging my friends Kate and Mario.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I wonder if Mario's cooking tonight, blah, blah, blah. And I was about to post and he really didn't want me to post because he thought that people would be like, oh, congratulations. And he was like, can you put your phone away for a sec? And I was like, huh? And he was
what?
I brought you to Carbone to ask you to be a Carbone forever. And I was like, what? And I was so shocked. You can see my face what? And I still have my phone out like this and I'm like, huh?
Is this real?
And then this snaps start going.
You're
Carbone. I was like, what's happening? And then he gets up after, I totally blacked out. And then he got up and he was like, can you put your phone away? And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, so are we still having dinner with your colleagues? And he was like, no. And so I was so confused. I was like, oh, maybe it's just the two of us. We're having dinner in here now. Or are we even eating in here? I was so confused. And we walked through and the back room is kind of a private area. And that's where the celebs all hide. And he had the private room all booked out with all my family.
So special.
Grandparents came in and his family. My brother flew in from California. And it was so shocking, so special. We had a little engagement party with all our friends the next day that my parents had planned. And it was such a whirlwind of a weekend that I still can't even believe it happened.
Oh my God. It feels just like so special, so perfect. I love that he leaned into his last name. It just feels like so perfect.
Yes. If anybody's like watching and thinking about getting engaged soon, Rich ran by the idea with like a few older women in his office, which is hilarious to me. Like he didn't really ask my friends or family or anything. He went to like people that he knew that wouldn't tell me and that had high, good taste and like good advice. And the first thing he was thinking about was redoing our first date, which is cute. But the women were like, you can do better.
Yeah.
You can do better. And he was like, well, this is my other idea. And it's pretty like wild and out there, but like, do you think I can pull it off? And they were like, yes.
Okay. So thank you to those women who gave Rich the confidence he needed to pull off this whole thing.
Yes.
Well, let's take a step back because I didn't even say who you are and really what you do. Ali is the founder of What Do I Do, a new community for brides that kind of came from the whole idea is when you kind of get into this engagement phase of your life, obviously it's so new, it's so overwhelming. You get engaged, the next question is when and where is the wedding? And you're like, I'm still staring at this ring on my finger.
Yeah.
So tell everyone a little bit about this new community you started.
Yes. Well, even bringing it back to Carbone, that night, walked in, hugged my parents, and then sat down for dinner. And the next question from all ends from my parents and his parents were, all right, so what are we thinking? Where are we doing it? My dad pulled me aside and he was like, I have a budget for you. We have to invite certain people. And I was like,
this is a lot.
Whoa. And granted, they were excited and they had known for a while and they had been sitting on it, but that being all put on you when you've just had this super, super high adrenaline inducing moment to then being thrust into something that you really don't know much about is really overwhelming. And I tell brides, I cried more in my first month of being engaged than I did in my entire relationship. It was so daunting because especially if you're a people pleaser, especially if you never want to disappoint anybody and you always want everyone to be comfortable and happy with whatever circumstance, you're so used to putting everybody else's needs before yours that the one time in your life that you're really supposed to be super selfish and do things for you and put your relationship first, it can be very hard. And so there was that aspect of it. And there was also just the aspect of being what do I do when? How do I do it? Where do I start? And
who do I trust?
Who do I trust?
Yeah.
And wow, this is expensive. And so and as the time went on, I had about 2 years to plan this wedding. As time went on, I noticed there was just more and more of that. And I found it so unfair that you get one chance at this. You get one day and you're doing 2 years of planning, thousands and thousands of hours, and you don't even have a dress rehearsal.
There's no room for
need
mistake.
to make sure that it is everything you wanted and more all ahead of time because then it's go time.
Right.
And so I just wanted to provide brides not only with resources and people that I trust and learn to trust, but I also wanted to provide them with fellow brides that they could commiserate with and talk to about it. Because as much as your friends and family are there for you, they might not get it if they're not in it with you.
Right. Some of your friends may have recently got married or are not married yet or did things totally differently than you did. So how are you supposed to know where to go and what to do?
Exactly. And so, and beyond that, the overwhelmingness of it, instead of looking at this resource, that resource, you have one place that all is together that is for brides.
Totally.
There's never been anything that's done for brides. A lot of things are for vendors and vendor sponsored and vendor promoted. And this is all for you. By brides, for brides, and everything you're getting, there's no financial incentives. There's no it's
community building.
community built.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us about some of the events you've hosted. I know we've been fortunate to be a part of some of them, and they've been so great. We've met the most incredible women who are just so excited to be a part of it and to enjoy it. And I think it just it really, I saw just in talking to some of these girls, like it really took the pressure off because they can turn to the woman next to them and just be like, what do you think about this? Or what are you doing about that? And you get an answer, and it's so special.
Well, one of the most amazing things really that I have seen come out of this, I will say, is watching the community lean on each other. Like people will ask me questions all the time, and like I'm always happy to answer them. But seeing one bride that's getting married in Miami a year after this other bride's getting married, and being like, "Hey, what did you do? Who'd you like? Did you like this hotel or that hotel? Because I'm deciding between the two." Is like, that's the goal.
Right. You find that common ground so quickly, especially in New York.
Yes.
And this is pretty much New York centric, or do we have plans to expand outside the city?
We are doing it, and to your comment about events. So what do I do? Definitely started as because I wanted to build a community. And that was my first goal. Like I wanted these brides to have each other, and I wanted to also myself learn along the way and learn from vendors and learn how I could support brides and what brides really needed, because I might have been really overwhelmed with my guest list, but that might be really easy for everybody else. So like, I don't know. So I didn't want to like dive into being like, I'm building a guest list template for everybody. I wanted to know what they wanted. And so the events were and are still an incredible way to build that community, to get people involved, to get them to learn about what do I do. So we started with a amazing like shopping event where you guys were involved, and also our soft launch with a bunch of our most engaged brides. That was so wonderful. Then we've really leaned into these workout events, which have been really interesting because, first of all, you know, it's something, there always has to be a component in the event that's helpful to the bride. So at first I really wanted to do like a bridal book club. And I'm like, that's not helpful. Like you talk about like the story of the brand, and like the story of the brand is to help brides be less stressed. And like adding a book to their like repertoire, like
I don't have time to read.
They don't have time to read. They
I have to work on my budget.
Club. Right. Like they want to go to like a DIY event where they can make their name cards. Like, so I needed to really think through that. And what somebody always wants and needs to do for their, whether it's to release endorphins, whether it's to get out of the house, whether it's to just do some self-care time, is a workout.
100%.
And so they're probably already doing it anyway. Let's make it fun and make it bridal. And so that has been really amazing. And so to your question about expanding, yes, we have been doing a lot of events in New York City, but really what do I do, brides? Is for everybody. We have a Slack channel that we have a bunch of brides on that are constantly chatting. I'm sharing information. I'm asking questions. I'm getting them to talk about things. And there's a lot of information sharing going on there. So that's really for everyone.
That's a great idea to have a Slack channel. I feel like you can really organize it, have the history.
Exactly. And we have it split up by like wedding years and things like that. And then we are going to be doing some Miami events this spring, and hopefully expanding more outside of workouts, because there's so much that brides can want to be helped with. Like, I think it would be amazing to have a floral event.
Definitely.
And learn about seasons that flowers are available, colors, like, you know, even arrangement building.
Yeah, like
budgeting.
You're going to be asking for different types of flowers if you're getting married in February versus getting married in the summer.
Right.
And I also think talking about like heights of centerpieces, like all those little questions that you might be afraid to ask your florist. This is something you could do in like more of a safe bridal community.
Exactly. And even, I mean, something that I wanted to do, and I think a lot of it too is how to communicate with your vendors. That was such a thing for me. Like, I had a vision, but I also did it, and I wanted my vendors to like really step up and like give me options and be creative and it's hard to kind of tell somebody that too. When that's hard to ask. It's also hard to ask for things sometimes.
And it's also like one thing that I found as a vendor when we're doing these events and we come in with all of our jewelry, and we come in, especially with our wedding band, sometimes when you're sitting up one-on-one with a jeweler, it might be intimidating to ask some questions that in your head feel silly. And I really always say there are no silly questions. The diamond industry is truly another language. So I totally get it. But I think when you're in an environment with other girls, you're trying on together, I just noticed that they're more comfortable asking those quote unquote silly questions.
Right.
So there's just that sense of like ease and girls hanging out with girls that I think just makes the bride so much more comfortable. And from a vendor perspective, like that's amazing.
Right. And it makes them more comfortable interacting with you.
Yeah.
And so down the line, you're not handed this like stressed, overwhelmed bride who, like, I have said from the beginning that I really don't think that there's such thing as a bridezilla. I think that there is a such thing. First of all, I think there's such thing as a bitch. And I really am like, you're either not a nice person,
right,
or you're really stressed and overwhelmed and you don't know how to communicate your feelings.
Yeah.
And you need help.
100%.
And like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I think that there's a cure for it. And there's something that can be done about it so you never get to that point.
I think that's a really nice shift.
Thanks.
And I'm going to go with it. You're either a bitch or you're overwhelmed.
Yeah, you're a bitch or you're overwhelmed. I really think that. Like if you're not treating your vendors well, you're a bitch.
Right.
If you are stressed and overwhelmed and want to be heard and understood.
And maybe you're like keeping it inside or it's coming out in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah, you just like you would help any other friend going through something a little challenging and overwhelming in their life. Yeah, we need to cut some slack for these non-bridezillas.
Right. That are doing something for the first time. And these vendors are doing things for their a millionth time.
Exactly.
And so the brides don't know how to ask for what they want because they don't necessarily know what they're asking for. That's what I've found.
I think that makes so much sense. Talk to me a little bit, not to be a little self-serving here, but we were fortunate enough to work with Ali and Rich on their wedding bands. How did you approach the wedding band process? Were you overwhelmed when you started shopping?
No, Rich was. Rich was completely overwhelmed. He spent more time. I saw the Galia and I was like, that one. And
was he the guy? Sometimes we have men in here who are like, wait, I need to buy a second diamond ring. Was he one of those? Or like, he knew?
No, he wasn't overwhelmed with my band.
Okay.
He was overwhelmed choosing his band. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. He knew that he was going to be getting me. He knew.
Diamonds were coming for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Ali is a diamond girl.
He said to me the other night too, I was like, I was just in Verstolo and I was looking with my future sister-in-law and I was like, I just saw this really beautiful pair of earrings. And he was like, sit down for just a second. You just got a lot of things. Relax.
Take a little breather.
Yeah.
But really don't.
But I was like, I was like, we'll see. And they did my beautiful bracelet too. Yeah. I was going back and forth a lot with whether I wanted an oval or an emerald or a different shaped stone than my engagement ring. And
to be clear, Ali has a beautiful round, brilliant diamond on a gorgeous pave band.
Yes. And a nice hidden halo there too, which is my favorite part. And so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do something different. And so I kept coming back to that idea. But once I was trying things on in here and honestly had a great conversation with you about it, I liked other things, but not as my band. Yeah. And I think that that's such an important differentiation with legitimately anything with wedding planning. That was where my mind would go back to for anything. Okay, it's a beautiful dress, but is it my dress?
For my wedding, yeah.
Right. It's a beautiful ring. Is it my wedding band?
Right.
I loved the bezel settings.
Yeah.
I think that it's so cool and gorgeous. And we are okay, that could be like a ring on this finger.
I always say your wedding band is not your last ring purchase. So
Exactly.
it should be something that feels really special because you're getting it at such an important time and it's obviously symbolizing your future.
Yes.
But if you're someone who's really struggling between two styles, just go for the more classic style because
Yes.
you're going to have a 1-year anniversary. You're going to have a 5-year anniversary,
Yes.
or you're going to have a random Tuesday where you feel like you need a ring.
Right.
So you will have that ring. Don't worry.
Exactly. And also I think that just there's something to be said, like you said, about the classic and timelessness with anything that you are choosing for your wedding. Like this will be steeped in history. It will be on your wall. It'll be on your Instagram. It'll be in photo books, and just keep it classic and classy when you have the opportunity to.
I think that's really good advice.
Yeah. Less is more.
When it came for the actual time of your wedding, so Ali got married in Nashville and she did it right. She went as big as you can get for Nashville and really leaned into the theme.
Yes.
Talk to me about like really kind of leaning into a theme for your wedding weekend.
Yes.
I feel like it's so fun. It's so playful, but like it still didn't take away from your wedding. So if we have some brides out there who are getting married in a city like Nashville that is so iconic, like how do you plan a wedding there?
So I think that Rich and I both are city people. Like we're New Yorkers. He's born and raised here. I'm from New Jersey. I've been here for almost 10 years. We are city people through and through. And so we wanted to definitely have a wedding that gave off the city vibes, even if we were in Nashville.
Yeah.
So there was definitely like the Friday and Saturday for us were very separate because we were like, we still want Saturday to be like luxury city glam wedding, but we wanted still, we had the skyline, we weren't out on a farm in Nashville.
Right.
We were right in the middle of everything. And so that was important for us. And my planners are so amazing. I worked with Fête Nashville Luxury Weddings.
That is incredible. And they're all over the US. So if you are looking for a wedding planner, definitely look them up.
They're amazing. And they really embrace the art of luxury, but fun.
Yep.
And I really wanted that. Like I wanted black tie, but I wanted everyone to like loosen it up by the end of the night. So Saturday was definitely kind of like left alone in its like traditional wedding sense with little personalized details and things like that were just fun. The martini bar, the Dolly Parton, like
so cute.
But still like, it was a wedding.
It was a wedding, yeah.
Friday night, we were like, we're going for it. Like we are in Nashville.
Yeah.
We are bringing the Nashville vibes. And so we wanted everyone to experience like a real honky tonk. We wanted them to line dance. We wanted them to have barbecue.
And get all dressed up. Yep.
And so, but still we have that like city glam vibe. So you have to, what I would say, especially if you are doing a destination wedding in a place like Nashville, if you're in, like Montana, Aspen, things like that. And you're really embracing Western.
But even Miami, like you see a lot of New Yorkers tend to get married in Miami and you see them embracing the colors.
Exactly.
So I think
go Italy, I would just say, make sure it still represents you. Like it was rhinestone rodeo.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like rodeo. Like
you made it alley.
And then some country, you know? And so that's what we really embraced. And it was so us. And we had a line dancing lesson for all of our guests.
Fun.
We had the full Blake Shelton's Honky Tonk All Red.
So cool.
And I had this 50-pound full rhinestone jacket with like tied with like little diamonds here. I like had to take it off after 30 minutes because it was so heavy. I was getting like a neck cramp.
But worth
Literally,
it for the photos.
so worth it. In the photos, it was like moving so cool, and that was undone by Kate.
Yeah,
amazing.
Very talented designer.
And it was such a fun night. I mean, we had a great country band. We had moonshine margaritas, you know, really leaning into things, but also keeping it like letting the people have their fun.
Yeah. And how much would you say? So we have a lot of clients who decide if they should hire a wedding planner or an event coordinator. How much of it was you? How much of it was them? And what are your recommendations, especially if you're getting married at a different destination?
Yes.
How essential is a wedding planner planning?
So I think that if you are getting married in a destination, you have to have boots on the ground, like 24/7. There were so many things. I mean, full transparency, we were not supposed to even have our welcome party at Red. We switched it to there 2 months before.
Oh, wow.
We switched our location 2 months before the wedding because it was supposed to be at Luke Combs' bar, and it was still under construction. And they let us know right when we sent out our invitations.
Oh, that's
we knew it was going to be under construction, and they said it was going to be done, and it wasn't. And as those things happen, it happens. And my planner would go like every day and just check on things, push it, negotiate with them because the prices were definitely different between all the places, and work things into contracts. Like I was very much able to like sit back and let them handle things like that, which is very nice because it's their relationships. Like any venue, vendor, or whatever down there could like F me over because they don't have to work with me again.
Right.
They have to work with them again. And so
that's actually a very good point.
It's really important to have somebody, I think, from the destination who's or from the destination or has worked at that destination before. So if you really are like, if you're getting married in Italy, and I understand there's a language barrier and there's all these things, but there's a US-based planner that's worked there before and knows vendors and knows the property. I think that that's another good way to go.
Totally. Yeah, I'm very pro wedding planner here. I just think like talk about that bridezilla moment. You get so overwhelmed to have someone who's in your corner. Is so important.
And I also think that no matter what, you should have somebody day of that is handling things. I think that as the bride, you know, I totally understand DIYing and like wanting to have your hands in it. And I think you can still do that even if you have a day of coordinator and things like that. But I think that you've worked so hard for this day. You have spent so much time planning, especially if you're planning on your own. Let yourself have the day. Let yourself not worry about table settings. Let yourself not worry about, because then you're just able to really let go.
Exactly. And party the night away. I've been doing consults too with some of our brides. And so that is always available. If you have a planner or if you don't have a planner, you can come and we kind of bounce ideas. I give budgeting ideas. I give kind of alternatives for like things, you know, oh, this is my floral plan. Like, can I lower the cost and things like that? Because I had to do a lot of that just because I had 2 years and I changed my ideas a lot. 2 years, I feel like, is very, to that point, 2 years is very challenging. So I feel like what I hear from a lot of our girls, especially who are getting married about 2 years out from an engagement, is issues with the dress. When did you start shopping for your dress? Because you definitely don't want to do it too early, especially with the world of social media. When do you think is the right time to start shopping and actually commit if you do have a longer engagement?
That is hard because the second you get engaged, you want to do everything. And if you're waiting to get married, you can't, and you have to really put the brakes on. So here in New York, we have Bridal Fashion Week. And so I kind of tell people to time it with the fashion weeks because then you know when things are coming out. So there's always one in fall and one in spring. It's usually in fall, that first week of October, and in spring, first week of April. And so I was getting married September 2024. And I shopped October 23.
Okay.
Because that's when all of the new stuff is coming out. And they usually say a year to 9 months out from your wedding because it takes time to make it. And then you have to do all the fittings and stuff. And so all of the new product is also there for you usually to try on. And so you're able to see the new stuff that hasn't even hit Instagram yet, that no one's been wearing yet. And usually get a nice discount too at the trunk shows.
Good
and
tip.
So whether you're a spring summer bride, or like a fall winter bride, I would try to pick it a year out from those.
I think that's amazing advice. So you wore a gorgeous Galia Lahav dress.
Yes, and I love her so
we
much.
have to shout them out because so many of our brides work with them, and their dresses are impeccable.
Yes.
How was your experience at their store? Tell us about it.
So my dress was the first dress I tried on.
Wow.
And it was the first day of trying dresses on.
Oh my
It was the
goodness.
first dress I tried on, and we had our amazing person that worked with us, Gigi, which is awesome. And I had this dress saved that was from the Galia Instagram, but I actually had tried on 2 dresses on the day before because my aunt was in town. And I went to Bridal Reflections, and I showed the woman there, I love this Galia dress. She's like, oh, great, we have it. And I tried it on, and I was like, pretty, not what I thought it was, because I only had a photo of the back of it.
Oh, interesting.
Went to Galia the next day because I just really liked the back. I was like, I want this dramatic back.
Right.
Went to Galia the next day, and she just kind of let me shop around, pull things. I like this, I like this, I like this. And I was definitely going for things like the back that I had liked. And I tried that first dress on, and we loved it. My aunt was like, that's it. And I was like, no, we got to see more. We have a whole day ahead of us, and everybody loved it. But we were also like,
let's see more.
Tried on a few more there. Absolutely loved them all too.
You can't go wrong there.
I mean, you really can't. The dresses are just so beautiful. The store is so beautiful. And we went on the rest of the day, tried on a few others, and I kept coming back to a few things. The first was that I didn't want, like I said about Saturday, I didn't want it to be a theme. I was like, I'm not a cowgirl bride, I wanted it to be a me.
I'm trying to think, what's a cowgirl bride dress?
I don't really know.
But we were avoiding that.
But I was avoiding that.
Whatever that is, we were
I
avoiding
didn't want to be, I kept being okay, this dress would be good if I was getting married in a French chateau.
Okay, so you were really
this dress would be good if I was at the public library.
Right.
I needed, and Kate March talks about this a lot, if you're having a Bridgerton themed wedding and then you want a rodeo outfit, it's not the vibe. You do have to kind of fit a certain vibe.
That's true. You do have to fit the venue, the evening, all of it.
If you're getting married on a
cohesive.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I was really thinking back to that a lot. I brought my friends back 2 weeks later, 2 friends with 2 completely different styles. And I was like, if they both like this dress, then that's going to be the one that I get. And because I was loving it, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop looking at it. I went. It was actually very special. It was October 8th. So it was the day after October 7th, and Galia was there.
Oh, wow. Who is an Israeli designer.
Yes. And so we had such a special moment. It felt really special at that point to be wearing her design. It kind of had a whole new meaning to me, and it felt very important. And so I tried on the dress, and they loved it. I walked around in it. It was so beautiful. And my friends took a photo of me on the back, and I was like, this is the dress that I had saved. And so
you didn't realize until that moment?
No. What? Because I hadn't looked at the back of it, and then I saw it, and I looked back at the photo, and I had saved that in August 2022.
That's crazy.
And I just didn't notice, and because I had been told that I tried on the dress already. And so I just didn't realize. Yeah. And then I looked back and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the first dress I had ever saved.
Wow.
And it wasn't even a new one. It was an older style, but people weren't, for some reason, I had never seen it before.
Wow.
People really weren't wearing it. And so
because you wore it differently.
I loved it.
I feel like you can see the same dress on different girls, but they present so differently. Well, your dress was unbelievable, and it was so fun styling you for the wedding. I will say it was pretty easy. I feel like picking out your earrings, right?
It really was.
You had a vision.
For some reason, I was like, I want pearls and diamonds, and my mom wore pearls and diamonds, and so I think that's why I was like, it felt so elegant, and the dress was just so beautiful, and had these pretty kind of sparkles and pearl details on it, and it just went perfectly.
It was made for the dress.
Yeah.
Ali wore our Savannah earrings, and I remember you booked fairly early, which is always my recommendation.
Yep.
And Savannah is a very popular earring, and we were building a wait list for this earring. I had so many girls being
cancel the wedding.
Is she canceling? I'm like, I don't think Ali is canceling.
No,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry. These are hers, and they were stunning.
They were beautiful.
You really just killed every aspect of your wedding, from the fashion to the energy. I can't believe it's over.
I can't believe it's over. And you know, the funniest thing too, that you guys had posted, and it's so true. I went on a mechanical bull later that night.
I was waiting for you to bring it up.
And I still had my earrings on and I still had my bracelet on. And one of my girlfriends, who was also a Verstolo bride, Katie, who got married in Italy over the summer, she came up to me because I went up to her before she jumped in the pool at her wedding. And I said, give me your earrings. And thank God I did, because somebody's like ended up at the bottom of the pool, like, and had to get fished out. I was like, see, now I have your earrings. And she came up to me before I went in the pool and was like, give me your earrings. I was like, nah, I'm good. Because I don't know how many Jello shots deep. And I was totally good. First of all, I stayed on the bowl for a minute and a half.
That's a long time.
Yes. I was a professional bowl. Everybody was like,
you or the Jello shots?
I think it was the workout regimen that I did. My inner thighs were like, and I had bruises down my inner thighs the next day. It was crazy.
Worth it.
It was so worth it though. I went on twice and I stayed up for a minute and a half the whole time. And Rich stayed on for 10 seconds. I was like, you might have to get a divorce.
Yeah.
He was like, it was the ring. I was just, it was so heavy.
He wasn't used to it.
Yeah, like
hold on, right. Love the excuses.
So they stayed on perfectly. I was like,
I mean, there's so many things to unpack there. One, thank you to the Verstolo bride who tried. We really appreciate that. But I will say, one of my favorite things is when I get clients' photos. I love seeing the mechanical bull photos. I have seen girls crowd surfing upside down, basically, and somehow the jewelry survives. Not to be self-serving, but it is a testament to the quality of our pieces.
The backs.
I mean, if it survives a mechanical bull, it will survive anything.
Yeah. That night too, they had to bring down the mechanical bull because someone lost their wedding band.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No. Did they find it?
Yep. It was underneath the bowl.
Oh my God. Better a men's band than a woman's diamond ring.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my God. What an incredible weekend. I feel like we can talk for like hours, but before we end the conversation, there's a couple things I want to talk about. Ali has a background in journalism, and I think one of the ways I found you when we first met each other is I always just loved your commentary on pop culture and trends, and I feel like you just get it. So what trends, whether in bridal or just general or in celebrity, are you excited about for this year? We are at the beginning of the year, so we have to do a little New Year convo.
Yes. Well, we've already had one massive award show. We had the Golden Globes.
Yes.
And I think that the Golden Globes always kind of set the precedent for what we're going to see over the next several months of awards season. And I think that, I always have to shout out Zendaya because,
She did a lot this season
at the Golden Globes. So first, something that I really loved that her stylist, Law Roach, did for her was the monochromatic looks.
Yep.
And I think that the matching of the shoe to the dress to the cape was really purposeful, and I just love a monochrome. I love it. And so I really love that he did that. And also what I've seen a lot of stars do, they're really embracing the like fashion of old, the style inspiration that either is a character that they want to play.
Are you talking about Ariana Grande, Audrey Hepburn biopic?
Definitely talking about that.
Do we think it's happening? I really hope so.
I hope so. I can't see how it couldn't. She is like wearing she's going into the archives.
I mean, somehow she's making it Glinda and Audrey Hepburn at the same time, and it's actually genius.
Yep, and the Givenchy, the embrace of that and all of his work that he did with Audrey is like giving.
Yes.
But even Zendaya is looking back at a lot of Black designers and Black actors and actresses, and that look that she wore was inspired by her name's Dorothy. I'm forgetting her last name, but that was inspired. Ayo Edebiri was also inspired by Julia Roberts' old looks. Even Kylie Jenner, what she wore to the Golden Globes with Timothée Chalamet was an Elizabeth Hurley Versace from the 90s. And so I'm really, really loving the archival fashion. I think that vintage. My bag today is my grandma's vintage Fendi. Like, I'm a big vintage girl. So I just love archival fashion.
And it's funny that you say that because we're really starting to see that trend go into bridal.
And jewelry.
And
exactly.
All of it.
So I think that everything from award season always bleeds into bridal.
Yep.
I think that is whatever you're seeing here is what you're going to be seeing in April. What the designers are bringing out, because they're so ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And so whether it's jewelry, whether it's shoes, or even just the type of bodices, that basque waist, even like a long waist, like an empire.
We're seeing a lot of that in bridal fashion this year.
Completely. Yeah. And it's all over the red carpets too.
And same with like just accessories as well, like the neck scarves, the gloves, like that definitely started in 2024 and it is very strongly continuing into 2025.
Oh my gosh, the neck scarf. Timothy Chalamet wore a neck scarf yesterday. He had a skinny scarf on. Yes. And it was giving like Ashley Tisdale red carpet 2001. Not as chic as the bridal.
I can't believe like early 2000s fashion is coming back. Like, am I in 8th grade again? I don't know, but
get rid of anything.
You can't.
But it is interesting. You know, I wore the stunning Verstolo jewels on Saturday. On Friday night, I wore my grandma's.
Yeah.
She gave me, you know, this beautiful old ring that she had and these pearls with like wrapped around diamonds, and they were my great grandmother's. Like,
amazing,
you know, and that's just, it all stays.
It all comes back. It's all cyclical. And I think one of our favorite things to do is kind of take heirloom jewelry.
I was gonna say that.
And you know, sometimes leave it as it is. It's beautiful. It might just need a cleaning and a polishing, and that's totally okay. But other times, some small tweaks can give it such a brand new life. And I think in jewelry going into 2025, we're going to see a lot more mix of like the something borrowed from Verstolo and really the something borrowed from mom and grandma working together to create a totally new look.
I love that. And I also think that, especially even in engagement ring trends right now, we saw Selena with the marquee, that is like your mom's ring.
100%.
That is something coming back right now. And we'll see that a lot. And even Zendaya, the East West.
Well, what Zendaya's doing, like subtle engagement debut on that's so cool. Like, who does that?
Well, and Dua Lipa too,
no big deal. I'm engaged.
Like this soft launch engagement. Right. Is that a thing now?
I don't know. I can't see that translating into like the modern normal bride. We're still going with hard launches for engagements, but like celebrities just make it way too cool. But back to the marquees, I feel like we could just like talk about this forever. A couple years ago, like I would pull one out and they'd be like, no, that is not me. And already since her engagement, I feel the shift. And with a stone like that, they do look really big for their size, which is one of the reasons everyone has loved ovals for the last decade or so. So things are changing.
And that like antique vintage style again.
It's just cool.
It's cool and it's different. And like, it definitely takes a certain kind of bride to do it. Like, I don't feel I'm cool enough, honestly, but Selena is.
You never know. I think when you first get engaged, a lot of times you want to stay like classic.
Yeah.
But talk to me in like 5-10 years. You might want something a little more funky, and we take that round and totally change it up and do more of like a cocktail fun type of setting. So that's the beauty of diamond jewelry. You can always change it and update it with like your personality.
I love that. Yeah. And I love the work that you guys do and the design aspect and how you're really able to come in here and make anything your own. Because, you know, there's definitely conversation too. I've gotten upset with like being like, oh, like that ring's just like mine, or like my sister-in-law chose a ring that's very similar. Yeah, you're talking about it. She knows. She and I talk about it all the time.
Say, is it, if someone is copying your ring, compliment or frustration?
My husband doesn't understand why I would get frustrated with it. He's like, who cares? Like, it's not your ring. Like, they have to wear it every day. And I get that. Yeah. I, at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, you wear it every day. I'm not going to be like upset that you have a similar ring to me. However, I do find that like I had this specific design in mind. I did a lot of like work on it. Granted, like I know that a pave band and a hidden halo isn't like reinventing the wheel, but
it's yours.
It's mine.
Yeah.
And like nobody at that time that I got it like had anything like I didn't know anybody with a ring like this.
Right. So it felt very unique to you.
It felt very unique to me, and like, you know, Rich worked hard to do it and things like that. And I came in here the other day with my future sister-in-law, and she really liked the same exact thing.
Guys, I think compliment.
Yes.
I just have to say.
Which is fine. But after the fact, she was like, it would be really weird sitting next to dinner with you. Like, we hang out all the time. So it would be weird sitting next to dinner with you with the same exact ring on at all times. And I was like,
a little weird. But that being said, if she decides to go with that ring, we will find a way to make it her own and make it special, because
and that's the best thing about Verstolo.
Yeah, not every pave ring needs to be a carbon copy of one another.
Yes.
The aesthetic overall might be similar, but there are different tweaks we can make to really make yours your own and make hers her own.
And like, that's what I love about being able to come here and work with you guys. Like the basket, the diamond, the stone, the different ideas. It's
so
just
many things
very
you can play with.
Fun to do.
Well, thank you for that. This was not supposed to be about us. It's supposed to be about you. Ali, like I said, I could talk to you all day long, but thank you so much for joining us on Conversations from the Vault.
Yay.
Hopefully we'll have you back on here in the future as What Do I Do continues to grow and flourish, because we're all about helping brides, and so are you. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.